Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to whatever this disaster is that I've created. Things are going well. We're making money, we're moving things, we're transporting things, and thus far I don't have a fever, so I would say things are definitely going well. I don't think a fever is sort of a prerequisite for playing this game, but I would imagine that being in a feverish state would probably help or hinder. It would be one or the other. Anyway, enough about that. You might have noticed that the flow of traffic is a little bit different here in Whitworth. It's now going along this lower road, which is completely intentional. I've placed another couple of waypoints down there between this episode and the last, or betwixt if you prefer, and it is both helping and hindering, I suppose. I also placed a new road down here so that the logs will take this road specifically, so these vehicles are no longer going up and using this sort of ring road that we have here. And for the most part, it is doing good. I've also moved a couple of the stops around, so tools are now being delivered up here rather than to this main road, and machines are being delivered here rather than to this main road. So traffic is now able to get through Whitworth better than it was before. So traffic itself is now very good. It's at a +0, essentially. It's not being, or rather, that's not traffic at all. Traffic is good. It's -10%, which is better than it was. It was -20, -30 at one point. And we are seeing a little bit of growth in Whitworth as well. The problem is that we do still have very poor as our stat on emissions. And that's probably only going to get worse with, well, in theory, it could get better with time, because in theory, I don't really know how the game calculates it, but if the game sort of modernizes vehicles to be more efficient, then that's good in terms of their, the way they burn fuel. But also, there is an upper limit to how many vehicles I will need per line. So if we're trying to max out this forest, we need a rate of 600 on this line right here. It has 513. And that rate exists because we have, however many vehicles we have with a capacity of whatever it is and a speed of whatever it is. So as vehicles get bigger and faster, we will need fewer of them. And so that might be a way that we can sort of counter the issues we're seeing where we have just tremendous amounts of, oh my God, traffic. In fact, that traffic is struggling to move, is what it's doing. That traffic's actually backed up and actually struggling to move. That's, wow. That's bad. That's actually very, very bad. That's really, really bad. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. Take out this intersection, and let's just run, I guess, a road from here going sort of straight through like this. So we're going to do that. We're going to confirm it, get rid of you, and we'll see what that does. We'll see how that does for us. I'm kind of hoping that's going to help traffic out a little bit. I don't know that it will, but we'll see. Also, New Mills wants fuel. That's something that's been kind of coming and going. To be completely honest, New Mills has been sort of 50-50 on whether or not it does actually want fuel, so hopefully it'll consistently want that and we can start delivering it. Speaking of which, good lord, there's a lot of bricks sitting around up here. We might want to do something about that. Whitworth wants food. That's actually very good news. Whitworth, I mean, that means the population's, 491. It's aiming for 506. So the Whitworth population absolutely is now bouncing back, which is exactly what I want. Now, speaking of population, in that last episode, we did set up our first passenger train line, which is fantastic. It's moving. People are using it. We have this train here with 34 people on board. We have 2 trains on that line, which is, I don't really know if it is actually making money or not, but we're going to expand that line is what we're going to do. So I want to come over here to Bingham, and I want to just see, are we using both terminals right now? We actually are. So if I want to get passengers in here, I'm going to need either another station, or I'm going to need I guess, 2 more sections of track. Because, yeah, the train's going to have to go back and forth through here, which is going to be a bit of a problem for... Oh, that is going to cause issues here as well. Wait, Whitworth now wants construction materials as well. Wow, that place bounced back really quickly. That's kind of surprising. Okay, yeah, doing this upgrade is going to be slightly tricky because it means I'm going to have to add 2 new sections of track and 2 new platforms. And it also, well, I could potentially use the same platform here. I could add 1 section of track. I could, I'm not going to get away with that here. I think let's just go and configure this. And I suppose what we'll do is assume that we're not going to be going too crazy with more cargo lines in this particular station. And we'll just go ahead and sort of build this out. We'll add... Oh, something's wrong. Okay, we'll pause the game while I just build this, and then we'll check what that complaint happens to be. Hopefully nothing too crazy. Hopefully nothing too serious. Hopefully something I can fix relatively quickly, because if it isn't, that's going to be a major issue. What's going on? Train 3 has no path. Train 3 is this guy. Why do you have no path? You do have a path. Where are you trying to go to? What platform are you trying to go to? Wait, platform 1? You were on platform 1? What the hell are you complaining about? What exactly is the issue here? You stop there, you go along to here, you come back? I don't understand how this train doesn't have a path to where it wants to go. Can I just tell you to stop and then go? There you go. All right, that was weird. I've no idea why the train complained about that, but fair enough. I also don't love that this station is as small as it is. I might have to extend that at some point as well. And I'm realizing is that I might want to just bring passengers all the way down to Midhurst. That's probably not a terrible idea. So let's go ahead and I don't think we're using this second platform. Oh, Midhurst wants tools as well. Okay. Wait. Did Midhurst not want tools? Oh, it didn't want tools. Okay, well, we are making tools outside of the town, so we can 100% go ahead and get them some tools in here in no time at all. Wait. Oh, no, that is a passenger station. Okay. I was slightly concerned there that this was a passenger platform or a cargo station. I was concerned this was a passenger platform, not a cargo one. But we're doing fine. So what we're going to need is a way for trains to get in down here. And I guess, let's see, we need it to be able to cross over to that side. And so that means that we're going to need a signal here and not there. And then I guess that means that we're going to need a signal to be here as well. So that should help out with Midhurst. And yeah, I'm not running trains any further. That's just a depot. That's fine. Okay, so what we'll do is get that set up. And now we just need to do the Whitworth station, run the tracks along, and Whitworth might be slow. Wait, does Whitworth have a second platform being used? It does. That's slightly annoying. Okay. So similar story here. We're going to need the extra platforms, and we're going to need to get the trains running onto these secondary sections of track. And so now, just like that, we have a passenger train line that runs the entire length of just about every town that we have some business in, although we are having some issues with train 6, which currently has no path to where it wants to go. So train 6 is where exactly? It's here. So it has no path. That's kind of an issue. We'll stop it. We'll start it. And it's going, which is fine. It is moving along the path in towards Clitheroe, which is beautiful news. So in theory, it should be all right. It should figure itself out, and we should get people moving along that entire line. Now, something I would like to do is I would like to go to Bingham, I would like to go to Whitworth, and I would like to go to Midhurst and make sure that people are actually able to get to the train line. So is this bus stop close enough to the station? I think it is. I think anything highlighted in like white is within walking distance, I would assume. So I think that bus stop's probably fine. Then looking at Whitworth, we have a bus stop here and here. So that's probably fine as well. And then looking at Bingham, we do have one here. It's a little bit of a ways away though. So let me go to buildings. Let me go to bus and tram stop. Let me add one there. Let me go to this line. And let me see, can I manage you? And I want to add one after Chester Road. I want it to go down here. And then it goes... Where the hell does it go? It goes up there to Springfield Road and then back to Main Street. Let's get rid of that Springfield Road stop, I guess. And that'll be fine. It's not exactly ideal, but at least people can get down there. And it's not, you know, ridiculous and sort of looping back in itself. So that should be just fine. We'll get people in there. We'll get them using the trains and everything should be okay. Now, one weird thing I did have to do is I have set this up, and you can sort of see it here if I go and maybe just grab that line specifically. It sort of loops over itself because I got a little bit lazy here in Norton and I wanted to just use the one platform. So it's a bit weird. It's not exactly ideal, but it's probably fair enough. It'll do for the time being, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So we have that train, but I do want to look at the rate of this line. The rate is 88. The frequency is 14. We did just get a bunch of new trucks, by the way. That's going to be really exciting. We'll deal with that in a second. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another train. I think another train would be a good idea. So we'll get a third train on that line. The frequency is now 9 minutes. It's really tempting to get another one. It's really, really tempting to get another one. I don't know if the line is that popular. I don't know if it's going to be worth doing, but it's really tempting. I think what we'll do is we'll wait and we'll see just how popular things end up being, and then we'll go from there. And in the meantime, what I'd like to do is actually bring a bit of public transport down to Middlewich and down to Whitehaven. Because we are working in both these towns, we do have deliveries of tools to Whitehaven and tools to Middlewich, and arguably, we could probably start moving machines down to both those towns as well. I don't think it would be a terrible idea. We do have a lot of machines sitting up here. Midhurst actually wants machines as well, which is good. We can move that by train if we really wanted to. I think trucks will probably do the job though. So let's see here. Is Midhurst actually getting tools right now? It isn't. Let's try and set that up, and let's try and set up the machines as well. So it's this bit down here that wants tools. So what we'll do is look right about here. So Midhurst tools to train is whatever. Let me go and create a new line from here going to here. And we're just going to call this one very simply road cargo, and it is Midhurst, and it is tools delivery is what we're going to go for on that one. And I think we'll set up the machines one as well, just because we can. It's a bit of a journey, but I think it's probably going to be worth it. And it's this guy here that wants the machines, so we can totally set that up. We'll go to lines, we'll go to new line, we'll go from here, and we're going to say all the way down to here, I think it was. We'll go ahead and get that to be the right color as well, which is that sort of tan color here. And that's road cargo. It is Midhurst, and it's machines delivery. Let's go and get that other one sorted out as well in terms of its color right there. So tools and machines both need delivered down there. What we'll do is go ahead and get some of the new trucks. So all cargo, I think it's going to be the tarpaulin truck. It is 25 miles per hour, capacity 7. Let's do 10 of them. I think it'll be fine. Get them in the right color as well. And we'll say 5 of those are going to go onto the Midhurst tools delivery, and the other 5 are going to go on the machines delivery, and we'll get those moving nice and quickly, hopefully. And then when it comes to everywhere else, I guess we could probably get away with upgrading just about everything that works in this space down here. I think that'll be fair enough. So let me pin this. Let me manage these vehicles. Let me replace all of them with... Oh, what are you guys moving? I think it's going to have to be the tarpaulin truck, isn't it? So that should be just fine. Same with the iron line as well. Manage those vehicles, replace it with the tarpaulin truck. And then we can go and do exactly the same thing just over here. So it's going to be Middlewich tools delivery, manage those vehicles, replace it with the tarpaulin truck, and Whitehaven tools delivery, manage those vehicles, replace it with the tarpaulin truck as well. Now, something I'm very tempted to start doing with my different lines is actually coloring the vehicles differently to how the lines are colored. And it's something I've done in previous series where I would basically have the color of the vehicle correspond to whatever it's moving. So if it's moving coal, it's going to be sort of a black. If it's moving machines, it's going to be sort of that light kind of grayish color. Iron is orange and bricks are red and logs are brown and so on and so on. I might do that. I think would make my roads look a little bit more interesting rather than just a fleet of pink vehicles going up and down there because the line's pink, but we'll see what I do with that. Anyway, let's go ahead and start bringing machines down to Whitehaven as well. Looking at it, I can actually use exactly the same truck stop for this, which is fantastic news. So new line from here going to Whitehaven, and it is that sort of burgundy purpley weird color. So road cargo, it is white. Did I put 2 spaces there? I think I did. Road cargo, Whitehaven, and it's machines delivery. And then we'll do exactly the same thing over here. So from Whitworth going all the way down to Middlewich. I'm assuming I can use the same stop. If I can't, then we'll change it, but it's all right. Road cargo, Middlewich, and it's machines delivery. Let's spell it properly this time. There we go. All right. Can I use that same stop? Yeah, I can use the same stop. Okay, perfect. Let's get ourselves some vehicles then. I think what we'll do is grab them from Whitworth. I think these guys are going to be running empty for a little while, but that's honestly fine. It's kind of just the way it's going to be. And the Whitehaven vehicles are the kind of darker color there. They go on to, where is it? Road cargo, Whitehaven machines delivery. These guys are that lighter color, and they're going on road cargo, Middlewich machines delivery. There we go. All right. So we'll get all of that moving around. We've got passengers moving to more places as well. We have a lot of vehicles complaining about being terrible. So hopefully we can sort all of that out. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try an experiment here. So what I want to look at is this guy. This line has a rate of 243 right now. If I upgrade those vehicles, that rate is going to go up quite a bit. It'll go up by about as many vehicles as we have, I would imagine. So, oh, I wonder. What I'm noticing about this place actually is that the steel to machines line is not very efficient. And why is that? It's because we don't have enough iron. How much coal do we have? And where's the coal coming from? The coal is down here, I think. Interesting. What's the rate on that line? 330. That's why. There's a lot more coal. So, oh man, I don't know about this. Let's go to this line. Let's configure it. Not configure it. That was the wrong button completely. Manage the vehicles. Replace 100 of these guys. $7.7 million. Oh my God. Okay. That's a lot. Let's do it though. We'll go ahead and replace all of those with that new truck. That now gives us a rate of 341. So it's about right. The rate goes up by about as many vehicles as we have in that situation. And so we should find ourselves moving a decent bit more iron, and that's sort of going to level things out. So we should see steel production pick up a little bit over here, which means slag production is going to pick up a little bit over here, and that's going to be a whole thing, but we should be okay. I don't think we're at a spot where we're actually losing money yet, but I do imagine we probably have a couple of lines. Yeah, that passenger line is losing money, definitely. The bricks line as well, surprisingly kind of losing money. And the big old road passenger line is kind of losing money as well. Interesting. And then in terms of making money, of course, this guy, decent money. Norton Booze Food Delivery, pretty decent money. I do think we need to go and turn a couple of things around, to be honest, but we'll get there. What I'd really like to do is I would like to go and just recolor some of my lines. So let's come in here and let's see what we can do. So this one is slag to bricks to delivery. I mean, I guess orange is a pretty good color for it, but we'll go for, I want to say that color. Wait, no, that's the line color. Hold on. It's supposed to be orange. It's the vehicles I want to change. Let's make them sort of that color. I think it's fine. Coal to steel, manage those vehicles, make them that color. Iron to steel, manage those vehicles, make them I want to say that color, I guess. And then steel to machines, manage those vehicles. They're moving steel, so go for like a sort of silvery color. And yeah, I think that just looks a bit more interesting. It's nice having vehicles that are different colors sort of coming and going. I like that a lot. And then we kind of need to do the same thing over here as well, because we might still, yeah, we do still have some pink vehicles going around. So this is planks to machines. Let's manage those vehicles, make them sort of a, I guess, sort of a tan-ish color. And that's pretty good, I think. And then we should have the logs one somewhere as well. We have these guys. Let's go to manage those vehicles and make them, I guess, that color right there. Yeah, I like that. It just makes things look more interesting, you know? It changes things up a little bit. It puts some variety into my vehicles. What are you moving? Machines delivery. Okay. So manage vehicles, change you to be like, I don't know, that color, I guess. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. I do like that. It just adds a bit of variety, you know? It just adds a nice little bit of variety, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Oh, no, this is pretty cool. We're actually starting to see some growth in Whitworth beyond the train line. So we're actually going to have a train station in the middle of a town, which is new. Usually I have them right at the edges. And I mean, looking at Whitworth, we're up to 749 people. This town was struggling earlier, so it's nice that we've kind of helped it bounce back a little bit here, which is so cool. I really like that. I need to focus more on individual towns, I think, when I play this game, because usually I'm looking at sort of the bigger picture. And I mean, obviously the last series was the Philadelphia thing, but it wasn't focusing on Philadelphia. It was focusing on using Philadelphia as a central hub. It wasn't about, you know, growing that town. But Whitworth is growing again. Bingham is almost 1,000 people in Bingham. It's doing amazingly well, which is really cool. I don't think I've ever had a town sort of grow this nicely. So hopefully we can keep it growing, get it above 1,000 people and go from there. And Norton is doing pretty well for itself as well. Not too many complaints in Norton, which is lovely to see. So what I'm thinking I kind of want to do next is focus on balancing some stuff around Whitworth, because things are still kind of crazy. Traffic is still backing up like crazy. It's a pretty bad setup down here. So what I want to do, I mean, we've got steel production cranking up again, which is lovely, but I want to pin this and I want to look at these different lines, because the slag to bricks to delivery line, honestly, it's not causing too many problems. I don't think it's an issue. I think it's the coal line is kind of a problem. The iron line, I've put in a waypoint up here and sort of moved it around, so it's kind of sorting itself out. And then steel to machines is also a bit of an issue. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at moving steel to machines a little bit. I think I want to move it to a different platform and see if I can maybe get it to play nicely that way. So if I move it to platform 1, it doesn't really do too much for me. If I move it to platform 6, I don't know if that's going to do too much for me. What I really need is for it to kind of go like up there, I think. And that just seems to allow it to go straight through the place, doesn't it? Yeah, it sort of cuts right through, which I don't love. Interesting. That's not really what I'm looking for. That's not really what I'm looking for at all. I was kind of hoping I could get it to go like out and around, but I don't think it's gonna do that, unfortunately. So we'll just keep it on platform 1, I guess. We'll get rid of that waypoint and we'll see what happens there. I don't think it's gonna do too much. I think it's still gonna back up here like crazy. But I think what we could probably do is, I mean, yeah, looking at this, iron is now up to 459 on its rate. I think what we do is we go and we pin this, we manage these vehicles. It's 158 vehicles. If I wanted to replace those, it's $12 million, which I can afford, so I'm going to do it. And that brings our rate up to 474. So it now has a higher rate than the iron one. And that's without taking into account any of the calculations that the game is going to do. That rate is going to get higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and get maybe, I don't know, 18 of these vehicles out of here. So we'll go ahead and get that to like there. We'll sell those. It'll give me a little bit of money back. It does bring that rate down, but the rate is still climbing because the game is still doing the calculations to figure out exactly what the rate is going to be with the current vehicles on the current roads. So I think that'll be fine. In theory, that should be fine. Now, what we do have to be mindful of is the fact that the rate on the steel line should be half of whatever the rate is on the coal and iron lines. So if the rate on these lines is 440, the steel needs to have 220 for it to be about right. So we'll see what ends up happening. The coal one is up to 445 already. It is approaching the same as the iron line. If I could get them to both be 600, that would be great, but I would need more vehicles, and what I'm trying to do is cut down on the number of vehicles. So what I might very well end up doing is bringing those both down to, say, 300 on the rates, and then just have the rate on the steel line be 150. Because, I mean, looking at the steel line at the moment, it's 171. So that would take out a good number of vehicles, and keep in mind, we have excess steel at the moment anyway. And these rates that we have are pretty high considering that, the number of vehicles getting stuck in traffic right now. So there's definitely some improvements we could make. We can definitely get rid of some vehicles and have the rate stay roughly where it is, because as we get rid of the vehicles, we get rid of the traffic jams. And so the deliveries end up being more regular and being more frequent because the vehicles don't get stuck in traffic. It's kind of a weird way of looking at it, I think, but that's basically what's going on. I'm also realizing that Whitworth doesn't have any public transport in this little lower corner here. Man, that's wild. It's wild that the town has grown like this and, has outgrown its public transport. Bingham is actually losing people right now, which is a little bit concerning. I don't love that. Absolutely don't love that. A lot of people wanting to go to Norton. That's interesting. A lot of people wanting to go to Peterlee. That's interesting. Not that many people up here and quite a few people up here. Are the trains full? I mean, kind of. It's not bad. If we're completely honest, that's some pretty good numbers there for the trains. I don't mind that at all. In fact, looking at the number of people wanting to get on a train in Whitworth, we might actually want to modify the trains themselves. We might want to just get another train, but I think what I'm going to do is manage them. I'm going to go to modify, and we do have a new locomotive in here. We have the, whatever this is, the BR 75.4 bad. It does 56 miles per hour, so it's slower than the one we have, so I don't think we'll bother with that. And I think, honestly, what we can do, I wish I could remember what color I picked specifically for these trains here. I can't remember what version of off-white it was. Might have been that one. I guess we'll find out. It's looking like it was that one. And I guess we'll bring these guys up to a capacity of 140 each. And it's a decent chunk of money to do that, but I think it's going to be worth it. I think, a little bit more capacity per train is going to be very good. And I think maybe duplicating, I don't have enough money to duplicate a train. Interesting. Okay. Well, hopefully a capacity of 420 across the entire line is going to be enough for now. I doubt it, but here's hoping. In other news, let's look back towards these lines here and see how we're looking. So coal is up to 556 right now. Iron is up to 505. Here's what I'm thinking. Iron is probably the most stable. In fact, they've probably both sort of settled out. I'm going to just cut vehicles out of these lines, though, until they're down to 300. So I'm just going to go and say, sell those 5, and that brings it down to 470. Let me go and grab, say, I don't know, 10 of them. It doesn't really matter how many I grab. It's going to be more than just, 15, but we'll sell 10 of them. Brings us down to 372. Let me go and sell another roughly 10 of them, and that's going to bring us down to 332. I'd like it to be lower. Let's go ahead and sell just 5 of them, bring us down to 70 vehicles, gives us 313. That's fine. That number is probably going to rise though, so let me actually just sell another 5 of them, bringing me down to 289. That is probably going to go up because less vehicles means, you know, less traffic. When it comes to the coal line, honestly, similar story. Go ahead and pin it, manage the vehicles. I want to sell probably a lot of these, probably about, you know, 30 of them most likely, but we'll start with a nice cut of about 20. Go ahead and sell those, brings us down to 497. So yeah, probably going to be cutting about 40 of these guys and bringing us down to actually probably more than 40. We want it to be down to close to 300 on the rate here. So sell all of those guys, brings us down to 366. Interesting. We are really cutting a lot of vehicles out of here. This should be good though. This should lead to Whitworth growing. It's going to be, you know, less emissions in the area, less traffic. 329 and 279. Okay. Let's cut another 5 out of here. And that gives us 309. Okay. 308, 309, whatever it is, those will probably fluctuate. They'll stabilize a little bit. We'll figure it out. We're probably going to end up with an excess of coal, which is probably fine because I think this place, you know, it's not fine. We might need to bring the iron one back up, but the thing is, we've just cut a bunch of vehicles. So in theory, we should be all right. When it comes to the steel line, it still has a rate that's under 150, so we should still end up with an excess of steel, and we'll see how things go. The good news is, immediately, there is considerably less traffic in this area. Everything is moving, everything's getting around. Looking here, we are still seeing traffic back up, but that's kind of going to be a thing. And I suppose what we need to be doing is matching the rate of steel to planks. So the planks to machines line is 232 right now. So here's what I'm thinking we're going to do. We're going to go in, we're going to pin this, we're going to manage those vehicles. We are going to cut probably about 10 of these guys and see what that brings us down to. It brings us down to 183. Let me go and cut 3 more of them, and that's going to bring me down to 168. I will allow it. That is still higher than the steel delivery to machines, but we should be all right. And that should help Whitworth. It should reduce the emissions. It should help the population grow, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Unfortunately, this has only gotten busier. There's 249 people want to go via Bingham. Good Lord. That is a lot of people. It doesn't look like 249, but there's 249 people want to get on the trains there. That is kind of wild. That is absolutely kind of wild. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully we're going to see this number sort of start to reduce or increase, I guess is technically the term, -40 to -30. Hopefully the emissions get better. Hopefully Whitworth continues to grow. Looking at Bingham, it has fallen off pretty hard, actually. Bingham is not in an amazing place right now, which is concerning. It needs more tools. Do we have an excess of tools sitting around? I think we probably do. Yeah, we only have 2 vehicles doing this. So replace those with the tarpaulin truck and duplicate those. And we'll get more tools moving into Bingham, hopefully a little bit quicker there. And that should help Bingham to grow. And then when it comes to the fuel delivery, I mean, it's supposed to be coming down here on a train. Those trains are not very frequent. They're every 13 minutes. They have a rate of 73 with this much stuff sitting around. So I think, I mean, where is that fuel coming from, or the bricks coming from? So it's bricks to train that I'm looking for. Marble to bricks, sand to bricks, fuel to train. I don't know which of these. I don't know which of these is moving the bricks to the train station. Actually, I'm really not too sure. Is it you? What are you moving? You're moving stone and you're moving fuel. All right. Marble to bricks. Oh, it's because of the, yes, it's because this thing just dumps it into the station. Okay, so production here is just ridiculous, right? Let's just get more trains. Let's not overthink it. Let's just get more trains on this line. That's kind of what we need. So let me manage these vehicles. Let me modify them. Let's pause. Let's just get rid of these guys completely. And I guess what we'll do is we'll get ourselves a better locomotive. So this guy, I think, is what we're going to go for. And I'm going to make it like a dark red because I think it's going to look cool. So give me one of those and give me one there as well. So we're already at $6.7 million. And then we need to be moving bricks. Now we do have these larger flat cars, which is great news. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do with these guys is, since they're moving bricks, I'm thinking we keep them in like a nice sort of red, and we'll go for a capacity of, I don't know, let's say like 112, 120. It's 190 meters long. That is a lot, but we'll go for 120 in the capacity for bricks. And then the tank car is moving fuel. So let's make the tank car, I mean, the icon for fuel is a little fire, so maybe a little bit orange for the tank cars. And we'll go for 156 on the capacity, be 165 at the capacity, and see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting, but we'll do that. 22 million for the 2 new trains. It gives us a rate of 150, which is more than double what it was before, actually. So that'll hopefully work out, as long as those trains don't get stuck, because they are pretty large, is what they are. They might actually be the longest trains that we have now, so I might have overdone it, but we'll see what happens. Now, speaking of trains, it's actually really interesting here. This train station has got way too many tools sitting in it right now, and tools production is pretty wild. So what we're going to do is manage these vehicles, only 15 of them, and we're going to go and swap them out for the tarpaulin truck. Also, this one, the flatbed, can hold 8. So real quick, I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do. I need to go to the steel to tools line, and I need to replace all of those vehicles. There's 50 of them. I might not be able to afford this. I can afford it. So steel to tools, we're going to go ahead and replace you. That gives me now a rate of 616. That's probably a bit much. That is, are we able to produce that much? No. So the good news, actually, is that I can get rid of a lot of vehicles there. That's going to save me quite a bit of money, because it does not need to be 616. We can probably, in fact, hold on a second. What is the, let me see here. So steel to tools, 616. Tools to train is 200, let's say. And it's 1 steel to 2 tools. So steel to tools needs to be about 400 is what I'm gathering there. So let me go and cut about 15 of those vehicles. That brings this guy down to 431. Let me cut maybe 2 more of them, brings us down to 406. That's fine. That should work out. So it is fewer vehicles, which is good. When it comes to deliveries of iron and coal, let's have a little look here, because is that 2 to 1? So we need those to be about 400 as well, I think. Wait, no, do we? Hold on, what have I done here? Let me, steel to tools is about 400. Yeah, no, I don't know if that is actually the rate I'm looking for. I might have my numbers way off here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do think we can probably get away with upgrading these guys, though. So manage those vehicles. There's 45 of them. I can't afford to do that, so let the game run. And I guess what we'll do is, at the very least, look at this train, go to that line, manage the vehicles. They are some of my older trains. My first train is still here, so we probably want to modify. We probably want to swap it out. It's going to be like $20 million to do that, so I think we're going to sit on it for a little while, and we'll do it eventually. You know, I realized I talked about doing some public transport in Middlewich and in Whitehaven, and I never did. So very quickly, let's go ahead and get some public transport going around here, because I think that's going to be good for us. So we'll do just some relatively basic lines that sort of dot around this way. We'll have them sort of come up. This place is actually a really weird layout. I kind of like it, though. We'll go up there, we'll sort of, oh, we can't come back down that way. I mean, I can put a road in there, so we'll have the stops come down this way, but that is a very strange little layout there. We'll go to here, we'll go to here, and I just need to go to streets and connect these two together. Unfortunately, that does mean getting rid of a building there, but they'll have to deal with that. It's, you know, just a side effect of industrialization and the modern world and blah, 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 blah. Let's go to new line. Let's go and say it goes all the way around all these different stops. Goes up to here, comes down here, goes to there. We want it to stop in the middle. Stop right about there. That's 10 stops. That should be fine. It's that sort of lilac color. And it is road passengers. It is, what one's this? Middle Witch. And it's loop. Oh, hold on. Okay. I don't care about all these new things. It's, let's rename you Middle Witch, loop 1. All right. So that'll get people moving around. We'll go ahead and get some vehicles for it. I'm hoping we get some new buses. Apparently I did get some new buses. I don't know if I got those in the last episode or if I just wasn't paying attention, but we got some new buses. Okay. Give me 5 of them and, you know, paint them that color. And we'll just go ahead and send those out and it'll hopefully get people moving around. I don't know if it's going to be the most popular thing, but I'm willing to try. So there we go. We got those guys going around. We'll bring some public transport from Norton down to Middlewich soon enough. And I guess from Whitworth down to Middlewich as well. I'm actually slightly tempted to just make a loop of buses that sort of go around the 3 of them, but it might be a bit much. Either way, let's go and get a little loop going around Whitehaven as well. So go to buildings and let's start down here. We'll go up this way. We'll go up to that street, along this street. We'll go to there. We'll come around down to about there, and that should be fine. A little bit of a weird loop on this one, but I think we can totally manage it. It'll go around all of those, stop right about there, and go back to the start. We'll get it painted the right color as well. And we'll go ahead and it is RP for road passengers. It is white. Okay. Every time something pops up, it seems to take me out of the, like the typing thing. It's really annoying. Whitehaven, and it is loop 1. All right. So we need some vehicles for that as well. We'll just go ahead and get the vehicles from Whitworth. I think that's probably fair enough. We'll close this Middlewich one. We'll buy these guys. We'll go for 5 of them again. And we'll go ahead and get them painted up. I don't want to buy more of them. I want to put them on the road passengers, Whitehaven loop 1. There we go. All right. So I think what we can do is we can just go ahead and, for the time being, ooh, these guys want food. We could run that down there. It'd be really, really easy to do that. But I think for the time being, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say create a new line. It's going to go from here. And it's going to go to here. I don't like that it loops around like that, though. I don't love that it does that. Yeah, I really don't love that it does that. I don't like the U-turn here, but whatever. We'll do, I guess, road passengers, and it's Norton / middle is what we'll call it. And I mean, we'll just go for, I mean, Norton has a lot of lines going through it. Let's just go for this color and we'll get some vehicles on it here in a second. In fact, we can get vehicles on it pretty much right away. I don't know how popular this is necessarily going to be, so we'll just do 5 again and assign those onto Norton to middle, so people can get back and forth between those 2 towns. We probably want to do the same between these 2, between Middlewich and Whitehaven. And yeah, I think that is a thing we're going to want to do. But for now, we'll get another line. We'll go from here and we'll go up into, I want to say here. And that should be just fine. So we'll go ahead and name that road passengers. It is, I guess, wait, what town is this again? It's Whitworth? Oh man, I really should know my town names. Road passengers, and it's Whitehaven to Whitworth is what we'll call that. And then we'll get it painted up properly. We'll get some vehicles on there in a second, because I do think we'll get some buses that go back and forth between these 2 as well. So new line right here. We'll go from, I guess, here all the way up to about there. And I don't know what color this one should be. I'm thinking maybe like sort of a golden color, just to be a bit different. And just like that, we have all of the vehicles that we're going to need. We have people wanting to go around Whitehaven already. We have some people wanting to go around Middlewich. And then looking up here, we have absolutely no one wanting to go to Middlewich from Norton, but that's totally fine. I am thinking we should probably go and upgrade the vehicles on all of the passenger lines. So very quickly, we'll pin this. We can sort of go down the line here. And is it actually an upgrade? It is. Yeah, it's a 25-mile-per-hour vehicle versus a 16-mile-per-hour vehicle. So I think it's probably fair enough to do this. Is it pricey? I mean, doesn't really seem to be. And again, the faster vehicle, I think, is going to make the buses a bit more of a viable option. I think people will probably appreciate it. This thing, I feel like this line is kind of a relic of the past. It has 80 vehicles on it. That's a lot of vehicles. That's a lot of vehicles. If I wanted to replace all of those, it's $7 million. And the line isn't really making money. So I think instead of replacing them, I'm going to retire that line. I'm going to sell all of the vehicles for a bit of money. And I think we just get rid of the line. To be honest, I think it's just a bit of a relic at this point. So just delete it. There was like 100 people wanted to use it, but you know, to hell with them. Basically, it's a relic. It's not all that useful. We'll get these guys sorted out. We've got the Clitheroe loop as well to sort out there. Is it popular? It actually is a little bit. We might want to maybe another 2 vehicles on that line just to get more people moving around. The Bingham loop is actually not making money. Annoyingly, we might need to just change it though, because Bingham has grown quite a bit, and this Bingham loop is making money, and it also seems to be full. So replace those vehicles and maybe throw another 2 on there just to get that line a little bit more love. And we'll see how things play out there. We'll see how that ends up going. Middlewich has a demand for construction material. Middlewich is actually growing rapidly. Its target population is 702 right now. And I'm assuming, yeah, because its growth is largely because of the number of destinations available to it now. So Middlewich, we're gonna have to start supplying food down here. We're gonna have to start getting bricks down here. Whitehaven as well, actually, massive growth because of, you know, the connections that it's been given as well. So that's fantastic news. Whitworth is doing all right. No complaints there. Bingham is over 1,000 people now. Good Lord. That's kind of wild. I'm expecting this place to end up getting skyscrapers at some point. It is only 1916, so we're not going to be seeing them just yet, but good Lord. That is kind of wild. I'll tell you what I want to do though. One last little thing before we wrap up this episode. I want to go ahead and actually sort out this line, because we do, I think, still have, yep, a ridiculous amount of tools sitting over here waiting to go. So go to this, manage the vehicles, go to here, and just clear out these trains completely. We're going to completely replace them with the A35. They're moving tools, so let's make them this color just to be kind of interesting, I suppose. So we'll do, you know, 2 of those, $6 million. They are only going to need box cars, so we'll go for these guys, these kind of cool looking box cars. And I'm thinking I'm going to go for like a dark sort of gray on those. It's going to be a very gray train, but that's all right. Capacity currently of 200. Let's see if we can't maybe outdo that a little bit. We'll go for a capacity of, say, 120 per train. So the capacity is only going to go up by 40 overall, but the trains themselves should be faster. I think we still might need another train. $17 million for the time being. And I think actually a shorter train as well. Kind of cool looking though. I think that's a really nice shade of blue on the train. The boxcars look interesting, so we'll see how that plays out. I do think we probably want a 3rd train though. This is full. It's got 340 right now. That's a pretty much, you know, a full platform, so probably want to do something with that. Midhurst as well. It's grown quite nicely. I'm really liking how the towns are growing. I've got to be honest. I did mention there's a mod that I've got that I think is influencing how they grow, and I'm really, really enjoying it. It's really cool, you know, seeing them grow to the other side of the tracks down here, and just seeing Bingham growing the way it's growing. It's really, really cool. I'm really enjoying it. Also, Bingham Loop 1 is just slammed with people. Good lord. We might need more vehicles on the... Yeah, that line is full. That line is absolutely full of people. Okay. Manage vehicles. Give me 2 more of them. And we'll see if that helps us out a little bit. Capacity of 80. In fact, can I go up to a capacity of like 96? And we'll see if that helps us out a little bit. Get more people moving around Bingham. And then funnily enough, right here as well, we have so much food waiting to go out to the trains here. We have so much booze waiting to be turned into food. It's kind of wild. It really is. Production on these farms is 300 across the board. This guy is 332 on its rate. So we can actually go and probably pull maybe 2 of those vehicles out of there to save a little bit of money. In fact, what would probably make more sense is replace these guys, right, with the tarpaulin truck. It gives us a rate of 419. So the rate is now 118 higher than what it needs to be. So sell 2 of them. That brings us down to 373. Sell 2 of them again, brings us down to 322. Sell 1 of them, 296. And that'll probably increase, I think. It's actually dropping off a little bit. Let me duplicate 1 of them. So it's 315. That's just fine. When it comes to this line up here, let's sort of do a similar thing. It's 323 right now, so let's pin that, manage the vehicles, replace them with the tarpaulin truck for 2,451,000. Let's go ahead and cut 5 out right away. So sell those, brings us down to 361. Sell 2 of them, brings us down to 324. Sell 1 of them is 308. Okay, so that's fine. The rate is still higher than what the farms can produce, but it is now with fewer vehicles. So emissions in the area will be better, which is kind of what we're looking for. When it comes to this guy, I mean, the production out of this factory is hovering around it's going to get to like maybe 300 here in a second. So this guy is 299 right now. I think what we can do, it's 70 vehicles. Replacing all of those is 5 million, but I'm going to do it. That's going to give us 418 on the rate right there. And now we can just go chip away at it. We can have fewer vehicles. Again, it's going to improve the emissions in the area, in theory. I might be assuming things here, and I might be assuming wrong, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So we'll go ahead and rip another 5 out of there. That gives us 329. Go ahead and rip 2 out of there. That gives us 317. Go ahead and rip 1 out of there. That gives us 312. Rip 2 more out of there. And that gives me 301. Okay. That's perfect. Again, fewer vehicles, but still more than enough to meet the production right now. I'm really enjoying this process of sort of upgrading the lines and having fewer vehicles overall. It's really nice. It's really fun. It's just, it's industrialization, it's modernization, it's all those cool things. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping we can do similar to this mess at some point, because poor Whitworth, I mean, its emissions aren't as bad as they used to be, but it's still, I mean, well, I guess the place has grown by almost like 500 people in this episode alone, so Whitworth's doing okay. And so I suppose as a final little thing to do in today's episode, I want to go ahead and I want to bring a little bit of road out here, and I want to just sort of curve it down to about there, I think. Bit of a weird spot, but I want that connection because I want to have a food delivery to Middlewich. I want to see if we can get this place to grow even better. Now, it's basically the middle of town that wants the food. That's fine. The reason I'm bringing this road out is because it's a bit more of a direct line, but what I can also do is just add a new truck station here, and I'm kind of wanting to do that, to be honest. I think a new truck station here is probably for the best. It's going to give us a little bit, a little bit more traffic control, I think. And I think right about there is probably a fine spot for it. And then what we'll do is new line from here going down into Middlewich right there. We'll go ahead and do road cargo. It is Middlewich, and it is food delivery. So let's go and get that painted up properly in the right color. And then all we need to do is get ourselves a couple of vehicles for it. So buy some vehicles, get these guys. We'll start with 5 of them. We'll get them painted up a proper color as well. We'll put those on Middlewich food delivery. And what I want to do here is just watch, I guess, and see what happens. I'm kind of hoping that we see a good amount come down. Demand is 28. So, ooh, we got some tall buildings popping in there. That's kind of cool. And there we go. We do have some food appearing. It's not going to be a whole lot, but production here is pretty, it's pretty substantial. It's definitely pretty substantial. So we should see a little bit of food popping up, and hopefully things will be good there. I'm kind of wondering though, because Whitehaven wants food, we have 3 farms down here. Is there anywhere we could take all that grain and turn it into food? Not really. This is kind of the best food production we have in the area by the looks of it, at least at a first glance, but that's something I can deal with in the next episode. I think for now what we can safely say is that we're doing pretty well. Money is, I mean, we're back up to 26 million here. Earnings wise, the passenger line is actually now looking to be my top earner, which is crazy because it wasn't making money. Clithrow now wants construction materials. This line is making good money. Booze, always making money. It's kind of cool, actually. I love that a passenger line is my most popular thing. I also love that Bingham is up over 1,100 people. Whitworth is almost 1,000 as well. I love that Whitehaven is getting there. I love that Middlewich is getting there. I love that Norton is over 1,000 as well. That's really cool. It's really cool. Peacerley growing a little bit. Clithrow, honestly, it needs more love. It does. Clithrow, maybe we should start focusing on Clithrow a little bit. That's not a joke about the. I know I've made jokes about that town's name before. That wasn't intentional. Anyway, moving on. It's a family show mostly. Anyway. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave it there for today. I feel like we've made a decent little bit of progress, a little bit of micromanagement, not a whole lot of expansion. Well, actually I say that I expanded the passenger line and it's now making $5 million. So I guess that's considered a good amount of expansion. Either way, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.